and go home and fight. And I'll advise you guys in this country also, please vote for him in Mataba or any other guy who is strict on immigration, so that all our people must stop coming here. You must make this place as uncomfortable as possible for us. That's the push that we need so that we can go back home and fight. Okay. I want to apologize for all these Zimbabweans who come on spaces like this and they insult you guys and they fight you guys in your own country. It is not good. It is not okay. Okay. I don't know how I can express all that to you. Okay. So yeah, I think I'll state my topic. I think. Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you, co-host. Because who is struggling on with the connection on her side. Can I come through? Yes, but Malume. Yes, Malume. You know, I promised that I'm not going to be neutralized by a Zimbabwean. This brother just did. Kanta, you don't sound Zimbabwean. Not with accent, but the way you think. Exactly the things that you were saying. That's what we are saying. South Africans are not saying go home because they hate you. South Africans are saying go back and home, fight. Let's help you fight. So that in the region, things will be better. The SADC region. So it's so even said that when you ask for the mic, you go on and say, before you mute me, because it is expected. It tells me that you know what your other brothers are doing to us. Had you been to that space in the morning, you would have been shocked or maybe been what? You don't feel Zimbabwe. That's what Africanism is all about for me. To say South Africans acknowledges that there's a problem in Zimbabwe. But when Zimbabweans come here, accept the bad things which they are doing, the sense of entitlement that South Africans owe them something. They need to do this, they should do that and do that. It is very disingenuous, hurtful, and upsetting. And you seem to understand all those things. That's why I'm saying you don't sound Zimbabwean. And to me, I may not see you, but you sound genuine. Not that you are trying to soften people here. You sounded genuine. My advice to you, brother, is this. Go and mobilize other Zimbabweans. I don't think you're the only Zimbabwean. Mobilize other Zimbabweans who will stand with South Africans and even request to say, what can you do to help us fight the oppressive regime in our country? Because the space in the morning, it was supposed to be a dialogue like this, but it was not like that. It was a space to bash South Africans, to tell South Africans that we are xenophobic. I want you to come into the space and ask anybody to open a case against me because I am proudly xenophobic, and see even if the international court will prosecute me. Xenophobia is not a crime. It's a moral issue. But people are jumping our borders illegally, which is a crime. And they want to equate the two. When we say we hate you for doing 1, 2, 3. So you've neutralized brother. Maybe there is 5% of you. Mobilize. South Africans, I'm almost certain, many of them, I'm sorry, will help you fight Zimbabwe. And I like that you even said you are doing correct to push us. It is not hateful that we're saying fix your country. We want to visit Victoria Falls too. I will land here, host and co-host. I'm just said it, that this guy came in and neutralized powerful. Then power, I would love that you perhaps land by landing closing remarks in that order while you are still here, before we go to Usongezo and others. Maybe speak around closing remarks, all of us. So you may go on and just just some closing remarks, then we'll go to other speakers for those closing remarks. Yeah, no, thanks for this space, and I'm very happy when people like you, I think you guys, I heard what you said, why you decided to take a step back. And I'm saying to you, reconsider. Don't let your country lose because of other people's egos. You have a lot to contribute to this country. As Obras Pure said, we always needed your energy in the spaces. We need to provide guidance as people who are advanced in age than you. I really appreciate people like Aikale. You can try to be modest and whatever. In my opinion, you don't belong in these spaces. Well, that's where you've showcased your talent. But I believe, be it provincial legislature, you are way better than those Makokos and whoever. Dalabafaga, those green blouses and black dresses, and call themselves in Bogod. They are leaders because of their sexual orientation. It's not because they can lead. They found themselves in a default position that women need to be affirmed. So I plead with you, take up the fight. Whoever approaches you in one of these organizations, we need voices like you who can think soberly and who can accept that now I'm upset and stuff to lead our nation. No one was born a leader. And in my opinion, 80% of them, those Makokos, green blouses and black skirts, they are nowhere near that thing called leadership. Braspiwe, you know how I feel. Data, Zulu Unicorn, thank you for everything. Continue in that fight, fighting for those that don't even know you, that there's someone who's fighting for South Africans. It's a very good thing for all of us. I thank you. I hope I didn't take much of your time now. Thank you, sir, co-host. It's Kwama, you were asking that you can't see the condition. She did DM me that they started again to try and hack her, but I did tell her that she must come out and come back, because if she continues like that, then yeah, they are trying to hack her, but she's gonna come back. The reason it's simple, it's what she did in the morning. She got onto their nerves. She's such a very intelligent and smart woman. They would always try to do that. What she must do, she must just secure her account. We are Sponas Commerciamentarian Securities account. That's how we work and roll now. This is my account that I go in with on Spaces. The other account, that's where we chat and take things up. Thank you. Ngiyasibona sineloka mbana nami ngilokho esami ngoba nami it always happen every time, but the option is to immediately notice that and then leave the space and then you can come back again. I think it takes time for them to hack you, but once you lose sight, they can hack you. But as soon as you notice something very suspicious, leave the space immediately, or just 5 minutes, you leave everything, leave Twitter, and then you can come back. Then they will lose the track. Yeah. What is the next hand, guys? I think since last week is not in for now, Songe is it?
thank you. Once again, thank you everyone for the opportunity. As Umalu Medapa was saying, Unkantla left me in a very calm position, especially towards Zimbabweans, not only Zimbabweans and other, foreign nationals, because what he must understand, Unkantla, is that in Africa, for instance, politically speaking, there are political phrases which I have actually come to understand that, these people conquered because of 1, 2, 3. For instance, an example of what they normally say when they say, cry, beloved country. For me, what I would say, not only to the people of Zimbabwe, but to the rest of the people in the continent, is that we are tired of crying. It's no more a cry, beloved country. Now it is a fight. Fight, beloved country. Fight. So we as people, we need to fight. The same way, for instance, there's been wars in which people preferred to die than to retreat. Because when you retreat, you are instilling, or rather you are injecting, that fear into the next generation. Because, for instance, if I always meet these guys from Zimbabwe, especially the Shona, who would brag about how intelligent they are. And my question would be, well, brother, with your intelligence, then you should have remained on the other side and used it against that system that is oppressing you, or that system that is, making you to be where you are today. So, what I would say to everyone, especially us South Africans who are tired of the nonsense that is happening in South Africa, is that we are not going to cry as a beloved country. We are going to fight. And that is the message that we need to also send to the next generation, that look, before us, there were warriors. And who are we? If we let ourselves to be cowards, we will be passing that seed to the next generation. So, but I must say in closing that, I was very inspired, to get into this space and find people like you. I'm really looking forward to have, more knowledge into spaces like this. Thank you very much, everyone.
Yeah, thank you, host. As you can go by the comment section there, I have an interview of my producer saying his speech it has only 1,000 views. This you missed this interview, South Africans, and you need to go there by the comment section and check it out. And if I was all of you, I would try to take some Khoisan classes or some San classes just to know how they speak, so I can make my name. As by the situation, the medias, we need not to listen to these medias. I think we need to go on the ground and just report by the police. By the police, because the medias,
we in Zimbabwe we struggle with the media because the media are always spreading bad news about us. It is never true. Most of the stuff is war, promoting war, especially in elections. So, guys, you need to go on the ground and look at these things. Don't look on the television because people just sit and put DSTV there and everyone wants DSTV in Africa. So, these guys are running a movie show. So, guys, that's why some of the stuff I can't even disclose here because I know what is really going on here, guys. So, as I told you, this interview is only 1,000 views. And coming to Mukuru, you guys need to close that Mukuru down, because Mukuru is making bank accounts for illegal people without permits. You see, so this thing we need to stop stealing money from South Africa or anywhere. We need to stop it because they are not paying tax for anything. Because you need a permit to open a bank. My bank account, they subtract each and every month money. And it's very unfair towards me that I see others opening accounts like by Mukuru and you saw Simba Chitando, they was talking about Zimbabweans are making profit with these eco-cash and stuff, these banks. I think we need to report all of them and check if they are illegally being transported out the money in West Africa because that is the way these new companies are stealing money and these illegal immigrants are saying it's cheap, but it's not cheap because they're only punishing their country there. Because when you come there in Zimbabwe, they ask maybe triple or fourth the price for a cooking oil online on Mukuru. And I will have to pay it in rands. And if you go in Pick and Pay, it will cost like fourth minus that. And these illegals are just saving their money. They don't know whose company is it. The guy in Britain is making some money out of us because it's his bank. And I'm sure that the South African government doesn't notice this. And it needs to put a stop to this. Maybe it was trying to help us. But what it did is it made the people in Zimbabwe not go and buy in the real shops. And it made you guys lose out because if I was sending something to Zimbabwe, I would have went to like Pick and Pay in Limpopo and buy there. Then I sent it by a truck home and I would pay that truck. But what's happening now, this Mukuru is opening banks and he's stealing rands here. And I need to tell you, these guys, go and look at my comments and go do your own research. And look at the video I posted there and I told you what language to learn because you all married each other here. And you know the jungle, no. I beat your ass, then you speak my lingo. That's how it is. You can't say someone just forget how to speak, so it doesn't, you don't qualify to own anything. So that was my order from you. And we need to stop looking at this. It's rather better to listen to the people in power like the leader of Action SA and those people. Yeah, who can listen to them. And maybe some ministers who can listen to them if they're having an interview, but not the movies that they are doing. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we close with Squama, we close with Modara, close with Songezo. Praise, closing remarks, praise the gates. Launch up now, wait, I want this one. I want it. You know what? Struggles. I think our women, and I'm talking about our sisters and our mothers, they've gone through enough abuse.
sihlezi sibhekile sithwele isigoqo izandla. It's about time as men we stand up and we actually do something. We need to start protecting our own. We need to start taking care of our own. We need to take up our responsibility as men to protect our own. Angeke sojola mafela khashane bantu benkosi. Angeke, it cannot be, not while sisaphila. Osisi bethu bakhala every day la. The stories that they relate, it's scary. The insecurities abayifilayo, it's uncalled for. It's not right. As far as Tunas comes in, I think that's all I have to say now. Mthokoza.
Nakwethu ngithokoza kakhulu Ndebele. Mtaka kumabala. Mtaka
Thanks, folks. I'm here. Can you hear me?
Kakhulu futhi. Kusina kujeqeza kuhambe kukulunguze kuye kujeqeza uzothi nebhadi ngene.
Okay. Sakoma bala ngokudlela egilweni. Mahlamini nibaningancanga namakuto okubheka. I just want to make my closing remarks on the space in relation to the corporates, particularly relating to the Zimbabweans and the transition of cash and the remittances. If you do recall, in a US space at some stage, or in an African space, I think it was Shaki or wherever was holding, or Kennedy, I made the submission that Zimbabweans may well think they are inflicting pain on us by being here and not wanting to solve their problems. Whereas in fact, they are the financiers of their own misery, assisted by the corporates. The corporates, in a sense, that I'll make you an example of MTN, Vodacom, Cell C, Telkom, whoever. MTN, in a particular sense, has got more subscribers outside of South Africa than in South Africa, yet in South Africa. Look at their subscription numbers and their profit margins, in how they are profiting from this large number of people that are undocumented, yet using their own network. Now I'm going to make you an example to say, in every Pakistani national shop, there's a legislation in this country of RICA. MTN and the ilk and other mobile technology, mobile network companies are breaking the South African law by bunkering SIM cards. Because as part of migration, as a foreign national in South Africa, you need to actually be regularized in order to be able to RICA a SIM card. We've had this discussion before. Am I still audible? The second hand, confirm?
Yes, you are. Yes, sir. We can still hear you.
Thank you. So they bought RICA SIM cards on a South African's name, and then they sell them to the foreign nationals to actually have some form of communication. It means you can also have access to the banking system of this country, the financial system, because you can then use the PEPs of this world, the beacon payers of this world to send money in and around, even when you send them outside the country. Now, here's an example of somebody who is financing his own misery, yet thinking he's solving a problem. A remittance is made from the UK into a Zimbabwean account at a fee, and it goes back into the circulation of the Zimbabwean financial system, which then gets taxed by the illegitimate government they have now.
finances the persecution of Zimbabweans. Yeah. That's what we're trying to make them understand. Two, by them making those phones available, it means the stay of Zimbabweans illegally in South Africa or foreign nationals in South Africa does not become uncomfortable and unkind because they've got a form of communication. And in the process, when I said yesterday they are condoms, I was speaking into that sense to say they are profiting from your misery because they are understanding that you are vulnerable. They are increasing their profits. Yet you come here and tell me my problem is white monopoly, white supremacy. Yet you are abetting the very same white supremacy. Deliberately or directly or indeliberately or indirectly. Their subscription numbers increase astronomically. Purely because they have access to this market that they don't have to regularize or obtain regularly. Mudara. Garawa.
Yes, yes, yes.
Shuru say.
Azviposha Mwari kose.
Reborn.
So,
What you guys are doing is creating the system to be able to be live and well, to oppress you and abuse you. Perpetually, with no pain, because you feed the fun into the system. I agree with the Mukuru comment. I made a comment around Mukuru a long time ago. Mukuru is a malaika. In Zulu, malaika. A malaika is supposed to be moving goods bought in South Africa through to Zimbabwe via export duties. But no, they do it deliberately, differently. Money is sent via Mukuru on to the other side of the border to buy within the Zimbabwe. So all you have received is tax from Mukuru. So I'm trying to clarify to all Indians, understand what the analogy refers to. Again, I repeat, Zimbabweans are the financiers of their own misery, particularly in the diaspora. In the name of remittance. Remit money is okay, but admit that you are getting indirectly co-opted into the system of oppressing Zimbabweans. And you are worse because you're actually charging them things you're not supposed to charge them. You think you're bypassing the Zimbabwean system by not opening an account and sending money to them because you think, but you still indirectly financing it. It's what we are trying to help you understand. It's what we are saying. Without you taking it as an insult or abuse or xenophobia, it's not. It's actually opening up your eyes to your own abuse that's happening. I'm going to stop there. I'm taking too much of this forum's time. There's other people who can do better than me.
Mwana mambo. Zio Yerudo. The next speaker is, we're done. Huh? Baba, close up Malume, and then Nami Beseng Valley, not just 20 let's so that I can also let me close and then you close. Actually, let me look. There's a problem that we are going to have in this particular country and in these spaces. And I've spoken to a lot to Usha. Okay, yeah. I'm not going to mention the name, but yeah, to whoever that I might have said their name. So I've spoken a lot to her because we're quite close. And in these spaces, you find people such as Abu Data, whom are not political novices in this country. They even understand these black, green, and yellow thing. You found abantu abafana noBabu Squama who have been who know what is a bullet or in a magazine, who know the people who died for this country. Abazi ukuthi eMpumalanga who were the true leaders, Abo Masilela, Abo January. You find people such as Umama Lozile earlier on. You find people such as Melisibana. You find people whom other people, they say they are uneducated, the seers of this world, when they come around, they say, no, you people are not educated. They say that we don't travel. You find people who went around not only South Africa, across the world, when Asali. You find people who read more than I don't know how many books per year. Who even understand what is happening at the airport. It's saddening that there are people who think that we are not good enough. You find people whom, like myself and Abu Aikale, whom, when they were growing up, they had dreams to lead this country until we realized that leading this country at the forefront is not worth it than when you lead at the back. People who understand what is really happening in the political system. Some of the people that you find in these particular spaces are people who were part and parcel in building some of the political parties. We know who killed who. You find those people in these spaces. You find people who know about Aaron, who used to work at DTI, whom was forced to close businesses of certain politicians because certain politicians were wanted by SARS and all of that. They were forced to close them. And when they became whistleblowers, and they got killed very fast. You find those people in these spaces. So for people coming from another country to tell us, thinking that we cannot be taking over our country, and whenever we are speaking, they take us as novices or as laymen, going to be problematic. People need to respect what you find in South Africa. You have find out around you who you can understand what is family. Yet there are people who will come here and tell us that we are not educated. So we need to be careful when we speak of South Africa. We need to be careful when we speak of the people that we find in these spaces. People who will not tell you what their education level is, but they will just keep quiet and look at you for who you are. There's so many people that you find in these spaces. And in that order, when you find these people, what we need actually is for us to unite. When we got a call, me and I call it some time in April, and whoever said about that people must join political parties. You know? When we got a call and we spoke about this with Aikal, and we talked about 2 hours in that conversation of ours on a call. And we said, no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to be looking into politics when there's a lot. If you look at my profile, not my profile picture, my cover picture, there are those girls there in black and yellow. If I decide to now join political parties, who's going to take care of those girls? Those are the questions I must ask myself. So we find in these spaces for people who are being sent by political parties. Some of them, they even not bribed, but scammed some members in these spaces. Some members were scammed 10 or 17,000 of friends. People who claimed to be programmers and all of that. And we find criminal. So there's a lot of people that we find in this space. We find people who are being sent by political parties to listen. There were people who are calling themselves lawyers, somewhere from the Northwest, traditional lawyers or whatsoever, who are sending people in some of these spaces. Then you also find people who are going to tell us that we should not use certain words or certain hashtags. And we go on, we are being divided by those people. Because those are the people who are dividing us. We are divided. What we must unite upon is we need to think of right now, umntwana okwanyuswa in KZN. Who doesn't know how this future looks like? I'm right now in Cape Town. There's a kid somewhere in Khayelitsha. Well, I'm here. Nice place. Then drop it. But there's a kid I know in Khayelitsha in Mitchell's Plain in Cape Town who would need me to make a good decision. Kunomntwana right now in Kurman, where there's highest level of HIV and AIDS and teenage pregnancy. Who needs us? We have a lot of problems. When we are going to be divided, it's going to be problematic more. We need to be united. One of our biggest problems is this illegal immigration, and not just illegal immigration, it's the immigration itself. How do we handle it? I went to a country to work, not because I was bored, I was just there coming in. They said, Bongani, come through. There's a skill that we need from you. And when I went to work in that country, it's because I was bringing a skill that they're running short of in that particular country. Are we going to have people in this country who are just going to come for fun and have babies? That's going to be a problem. Anyway, I'm just saying these things to say we've got a lot of problems. We must unite. We've got teenage pregnancy. We still have the issue of these HIV and AIDS, which people are keeping quiet about now as if it's not happening. We're having a government that is corrupt, yet some of us are still going to propose for that government to take over post-1994. We've got a lot that is happening in our communities. We have been bribed by councillors, and we allow that to happen. We need to think, and when they say you being human, this humanitarian, and it cannot be working only for people who are foreigners, that we are going to think about them, let them not be killed. What about us? How do we think human towards us? We have nothing. South Africa is the only space that we have. I'm becoming emotional, and that's not what I want to do. Let us go with xenophobia, the master of it. Mina, I know there's a team that's going to win tonight. It's called Kaiser Chiefs, so that's what I'm going to. You can close. Let me focus on that. But thank you for all those who came through, for those who are fighting for this country, for those who are coaching us when we become emotional, when I put squam. For those who call us whenever they understand, are you safe? You are not here. We're not sure if you are still okay. You are in Limpopo. Are you okay? I will put IRS. We are thankful for that. We need that. And we will not betray this country. That we can assure you. But these divisions, these nonsensical divisions amongst ourselves, because certain people are being promised certain things, or because certain people are being lobbied because they are opening certain organizations, and those organizations they are being promised funding, and because that funding is compromising them, we should be careful about that. We watch these things because whenever we Martina, we understood politics at a very young age. So whenever things are, we start to see the name of us and then it happens. Anyway, xenophobe, the master of it all. Sean, darling, I'm going to watch soccer now. We'll talk later. Hey, xenophobe, what's up?
Thank you very much. Yes, I sengiyavala mina ngithemba ngasofisa ngesentameni lenges khona lemnambiti yabona aqede ngadla abantu ngezinsibuke mina ngiyamudla umuntu ngibabona abantu bekhuluma nje siyamazimzini thina ya ngizogcina lapho nje kwamanje ngokusombisi kodwa engizokusho le guy divided we shall perish, together we will conquer. That's all I can say. I'm not gonna add a lot on that one. And Spiwe said the Lord. The Bong said the Lord. So I'm not gonna delay you guys because we have to go and watch the game. And I as for who's going to win today, host,
I'm back to differ with you. Let's see the result after the game. Yeah, because you are fighting a wounded lion right now. Not so long ago, those guys have been beaten by a mosquito during the week. You think they will allow Kaiser Chiefs to beat them again? I don't think so. Yeah, guys, thank you very, very, very much. Women who are in the space, I salute you. Imbogodo, phambili. Siyabonga bafowethu. Let's meet again. Maybe I heard that you will open another space going forward. Guys, let's stand up together as South Africans, united, not as Africans, because we have seen that in Africanism does not work, because it only takes something away from us. Some people are losing nothing at the end of the day. I so wish in the next space that we can have, if you can come with 3 youth people in these spaces, sanitize them. Going forward in the next coming 6 months, guys, please bring the youth in, because we're in this mess because we want to fight. We want to leave the legacy behind for them so that they can thrive. But in this situation, if we can live anytime soon now, our children will spit on our graves because we absolutely did nothing for them. Phambili ngomzabalazo. Phambili, thank you very much. You can end this co-host.
Yeah, I was told by IRS, which I call it open. It's opening a space at 7. Yeah, we'll join it, IRS. I call it apparently is opening a space at 7. So we'll join.
Right, thank you so much, guys. That was the part 2 of the hate speech by some of South Africans. I think it's Operation Tidula, when they were talking about that they are fed up of Zimbabweans. So we did part 1 yesterday, and we've done part 2 now. So it's there now. You can listen to it anytime. You can listen to it. And if you are a Zimbabwean in South Africa having challenges, having problems, let us know so that we can see how we can help you. So that was the reason why I played these recorded spaces. What happens with them, guys, is they don't want to see any Zimbabwean in that platform. If they see you there, they remove you and make sure that they block you. So, but they have to use our sources to get in there. But anyway, guys, enjoy listening to them. We'll meet again on the other platforms. Thank you so much. You can see them on the YouTube. You can see them on Facebook and Twitter as well. So if you missed the first part of yesterday, just go to my line. You will see all the shows we did yesterday and today, talking about Zimbabwe. Thank you so much. My name is Emma Commander. Bye bye. Very nice.